Hello there, and welcome to the Her Retirement live YouTube broadcast. This is the first one I'll be doing, and I'll be doing these every week at 12:15 on Thursdays. And I'm Lynn Toomey, your host and the creator of Her Retirement. If you haven't heard of Her Retirement, I would highly encourage you to go check out what we're all about on the Her Retirement website at herretirement.com. I have a lot of videos here, a lot of shorts, because I do a lot of video broadcasting on TikTok. All those little shorts I try to put here on YouTube as well. So if you prefer this platform to get educated about your retirement, you can do that. And yes, retirement and having a better retirement is all about getting educated, okay? And I've designed Her Retirement for women because of a number of different reasons. I entered the industry about a decade ago and started seeing a lot of alarming statistics about women in retirement. So I decided to teach a class locally here in Massachusetts on retirement for women, and it was a great event. I learned so much, the women learned so much, and I decided to reserve the URL Her Retirement, not knowing what the future might hold. COVID came. Hopefully COVID went. I guess it's still around, but Her Retirement was born back right before COVID started, and it was a vision I had to make an impact on women and to change some of the statistics that we have as women in not only our lives, but our retirement, and to help women navigate the complexities that retirement represents, overcome the challenges, and as I like to say, to know more, have more, and to live more. So, Her Retirement, at its very basic level, is an educational platform where women can go and get educated about retirement, about their money and the meaning of money, and what they want to achieve for retirement through putting in place that secure financial foundation. So, what I like to talk about and what I teach in my masterclass, I offer a free masterclass that you can go watch on Her Retirement. But what I like to teach women is that even if you've spent a majority of your life not totally paying attention to financial topics, or you feel, I've had women say, I feel stupid, I have my master's degree in, biology, or, I'm a CEO of a company, but yet I feel stupid about my money or retirement. Well, I understand. I've been there, done that. I felt stupid at one point in my life too. You don't have to become a retirement advisor or a financial advisor, but you should understand where you're at, how much you have, how much you'll need for retirement. You need to understand the basic risks of retirement so that you can try to mitigate those risks. And if you're the type of person that doesn't want to figure this out on your own, I highly recommend that you work with a retirement advisor, a retirement planner, a CFP who's focused on retirement, who can help you put together a financial plan that you not only understand, but have 100% confidence in. That is the whole point of my platform, is to create and implement that plan that will allow you to go focus on the other parts of life that you want to focus on. I don't know how many of us want to be poring over financial plans and trying to figure out money things when we're not really equipped to do that, nor maybe do we want to take the time to do that. So my suggestion is to at least understand your financial foundation, understand where your gaps might be before you get to retirement, understand the risks you may face in retirement, and then take advantage of any opportunities that are presented to you or that you get educated about. And that's what I try to educate women about: their gaps, their risks, and their opportunities, help you understand, and then try to connect you to the resources to help you fill those gaps, mitigate the risks, and take advantage of the opportunities. So, again, go to the platform. I'm going to be broadcasting live here each and every Thursday from 12:15. anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes depending upon the topic. And if there's a topic that you wanna know more about, definitely reach out to me. I also do a podcast, so I have 115, almost 116 episodes of my podcast. I have about 90,000 followers on TikTok, trying to get that Instagram going, but you can also connect with me on LinkedIn. I also have, in addition to my free masterclass, I have a 10-hour master course that is a fee-based master course. I also have a complete library of free resources. I also have books and guides and a Social Security kit and so many other resources. So, with that, today I wanted to talk about one of the most popular topics that I talk about on TikTok is Social Security, because Social Security is going to represent, on average, 30% of your retirement income sources. The less you have in other income sources, the more, the higher that percentage goes up, the more important Social Security is to you from a retirement and retirement planning perspective. And unfortunately, many people that are, in more complicated situations, and by complicated, I mean, whether they're married, yes, marriage can be complicated, whether they're divorced, whether they're widowed, there are some different types of strategies that may serve you better from a Social Security filing strategy. So it's really important to understand the opportunities there are potentially to improve that lifetime income, that also known as an annuity, Social Security income, because at its basic level, Social Security was created back in 1935 as an old age survivors and disability insurance program. And we pay into it. Our employers pay into it. If you're self-employed, you pay in the employee and the employer part, but you pay into it. It's a shared pool. And the idea is that when you get to your choice of age beyond 62, you're able to take that money out based on your highest 35 years of earnings. But there are different ways to maximize or optimize your Social Security benefit. So 62 is the earliest age that you can take it on a normal basis. If you're a survivor, you can take it at 60. If you're a disabled survivor, 50. And the Social Security book and the rules are huge. So what I attempt to do is to take some of the um, more popular issues and questions and try to address those as best as possible. We also do Social Security analysis to help you make data driven decisions, because I believe that you should have data behind your decisions versus gut feel or best guesses or what your brother-in-law tells you. He may be really smart, but he may not have the data. He may not understand all the intricacies of Social Security. Got my Her Retirement mug, of course. Anyway, um, so Social Security is probably even more important to women because we live longer. We have longer lifespan, and we need to make sure that whenever we claim Social Security, we're locking in an amount that, will pay us the amount potentially that we want and need throughout our life. So once you claim Social Security, in theory, doesn't go away. It is a lifetime benefit, but the longer you wait to collect your Social Security, the more it goes up. Okay, so if you claim at 62, let's say, instead of getting 100% of your benefit, you'll get 70%. If you are married and let's say your husband was the higher earner, there's a marital strategy where it might make sense for you to collect at 62. He waits as long as possible, maybe even till 70. And then once he claims, you can switch over to his higher benefit. The idea being, instead of being locked into your lower amount at 62, what you can do is, let's assume in your typical couple, your husband predeceases you you're going to switch over to his benefit and be locked into that higher benefit for the rest of your life. A lot of people don't know that. In fact, a lot of people, I think, get a D on a Social Security quiz because they don't really know all the facts. And unfortunately, a lot of people leave a lot of money on the table by not understanding all the facts. I do have a Social Security kit where I include a version of this broadcast that I'm doing today, an e-class on Social Security, where I'll go into a lot more depth. In the kit, there's also a number of resources on the different filing strategies. There's also what I call a decision tree. And I think decision trees are very important, especially in this case, because retirement planning is really addressing a bunch of different questions and deciding how you want to answer those questions, or in some cases, how you must answer those questions. Some things are out of our control. So the Social Security decision tree asks you things like, well, do you plan to continue working after 62? Well, if you plan to continue working after 62, it might make sense to wait to collect your Social Security because when you work prior to your full retirement age, which is 66 to 67 for most people, and if you continue to work, your Social Security benefit is going to be reduced $1 for every $2 that you earn. So it might not make sense to claim Social Security at 62 and to continue to work. So that's one important question. Another kind of very loaded question for retirement planning is, how long do you plan to live? Ah, that's a good question. If we knew that, this would make retirement planning so much easier. So one of the things you have to do, whether it's Social Security decisions or any other decisions in your retirement planning journey, is taking the best guess, right? Looking at genetics, looking at your family history, how you take care of yourself. 80% of our health is in our control, maybe even higher. So if you take good care of yourself before retirement and in retirement, it goes a long way to helping you live longer. So, if you have longevity in your family, it may make sense for you to delay Social Security for as long as possible. If you're divorced, there's a number of divorced criteria where you can collect on an ex spouse, or your ex spouse can collect on your benefit, and there's rules around that. So, for instance, for divorce, if your husband's Social Security, let's say, was $3,000, you could potentially get 50% of that, 1,500, at your full retirement age. However, Social Security gives you the higher of your own benefit or 50% of your ex-spouse's benefit. You don't get both. A lot of people ask me, "Oh, do I get mine and his or hers?" No, you don't get both. Um, and claiming on an ex-spouse does not have any impact on him or her. He or she will still get their benefit. If he or she remarried, that has no impact on you. If you get remarried, however, you cannot collect on an ex-spouse. So there's all these different rules and regulations, and there's a whole set of spousal. And so I have a lot of information in my Social Security kit on that at hersocialsecurity.com. So for the remainder of today's discussion, I wanted to talk about a few things about Social Security that might dispel some further myths or misinformation. And, one is, after 70, will my Social Security continue to go up? And the answer is no. So there's no benefit in waiting till 71, 72, 70. And believe it or not, I have had people um, say that they have waited. So don't do that. Another myth is that Social Security is not taxed. It isn't if you're under certain thresholds. And again, I have information on those tax thresholds in the Social Security kit, but it's important to understand that Social Security is taxed. And again, I said that the benefit is calculated based on your highest 35 years of earnings. They are indexed for inflation and then averaged, and a formula is applied to determine your benefit at your full retirement age. And you can also find out if you decide to claim early what your benefit is. It's very important to go to the Social Security Administration website and set up an account and also review your Social Security benefits. I was speaking with a woman the other day and she was looking at her statement and her husband's, and we were talking about marital strategy. And she said, wait, my earnings have been higher. Why is my Social Security not higher? So I said, well, you need to contact Social Security or go to a local Social Security office and get that straightened out before you get too close to claiming. Um, you don't want to, be scrambling at the last minute to try to figure this out. I, in fact, have it on my to-do list to contact Social Security because I got a letter for like 2021 indicating that my Social Security income was being taken down, and I need to understand what that letter meant. I I have no clue, but I'm definitely going to get that taken care of as soon as possible. Um, so again, go to socialsecurity.gov, it's ssa.gov, set up an account, check your statements, find out how much you're eligible for. That is a starting point. And like I said earlier, most Americans get a D on a Social Security quiz. So I'm going to give you a couple true false questions that you can answer. Under current Social Security law, full retirement age is 65, no matter when you were born. Oh, what is the answer to that question? Well, someone, it's false. Someone 65 in 2021, let's say, has a full retirement age of 66 and 4 months. Someone age 60 today has a full retirement age of 67. So, like I said, claiming before that age means that you have a reduced benefit. Okay, so let's talk about another one. Let me get another question here for you. And definitely, write into me, email me, lynn@herretirement.com if you have questions about your Social Security. I'm more than willing to answer quick questions. And like I said, if you want that Social Security analysis, it's very important. Social Security is kind of one leg of a multi-leg stool, if you will, in retirement. It's just one income source. So it's very important to understand what part Social Security plays in your overall income picture. It is one of the guaranteed income sources for retirement or, reliable income sources. So it's really important to understand where Social Security falls in that income projection. One of the mistakes people make is not doing that income projection, not understanding where they may have a gap between their expenses that they expect to have in retirement and their guaranteed income sources. So Social Security is one. If you're lucky enough to have a pension is another one. Having an annuity is a third one. Having a home equity conversion mortgage or a reverse mortgage is a fourth one. And I would add probably bond ladders to that also. So what you do with retirement income projections is you take all of that. And remember, Social Security is probably about 30, maybe 40% for some people of those income sources. You calculate your expenses that you're expecting to have, and whatever you have as a gap, you need to figure out how to fill the gap. And oftentimes, um, many Americans have 401k savings and IRAs, and they use that money to fill the gap. So creating that retirement paycheck from those 401ks and IRAs. Other people may have to fill the gap from working. Some people have rental income. Some people get an inheritance. I mean, there's other potential ways. Cash value life insurance is another way to fill the gap. Couple other true false questions here. If I take retirement benefits before my full retirement age, they will be reduced for early filing, and the answer is true. So if you file at age 62, for instance, and your full retirement age is 67, at 62, you would get 70% of your full benefit. So let's say your full benefit was $3,000, you would only get $2,100. Whereas if you wait to age 70, you get 124% of your benefit. So, again, if you feel like you are going to have longevity it might be better to wait and collect your Social Security. Because also, Social Security, like I just showed, goes up from 70% benefit at 62 to 124 at 70, 124% of your benefit. But you're also getting cost of living increases. So the idea was that, Social Security would be inflation protected. And for the most part, the cost of living increases from Social Security and inflation have pretty well tracked together over the course of time. So it is inflation protected. So in theory, Social Security is one of those annuities that you could put off claiming. So perhaps it's you want a plan that it's going to be your income for your later years, and you want to use your other income sources first, and you want to keep Social Security for that later income source because it's going to continue to go up, and you're going to benefit from those cost of living increases even if you are not collecting Social Security. Okay, so I think we talked about that. We talked about Social Security being taxed. So they're not unless your combined or provisional income is above certain levels. And the way they calculate this income is they take your adjusted gross income plus non-taxable income um, and half of your Social Security benefit, and that is your combined income. And then if you're between certain income levels, you will be up to 50% of your Social Security can be taxed. In some cases, above certain limits, over 34,000 and you file as single, or over 44,000 and you file married jointly, up to 85% of your Social Security could be taxed. So really important to understand that Social Security is taxed and you need to understand how. And again, you can get details on that. And really, it's important to understand tax in the bigger scheme of thing. That's a whole nother live episode I'll do on taxes in retirement, because so many people don't understand that the amount that they'll be taxed in retirement and the impact those deferred tax accounts like 401ks and IRAs can have on your benefits, your paycheck in retirement. And there's actually multiple ways to be more tax efficient in retirement and pay less taxes through tax planning. Okay. I think we covered this, but once I start collecting Social Security, my benefit payments will never change. Uh, that is false, because Social Security does offer the COLA, the cost of living increase, and we talked about that. Since 2000, the average COLA has been just about over 2%. So very important to note that. And we covered this: if you delay taking Social Security after age 70, it does not continue to increase. If I have a spouse and he or she passes away, I will receive both my benefit and my deceased spouse's benefit, and that is false. Okay. Let's see. We talked about the ex-spousal benefit, so you should already know the answer to that. That under certain guidelines, which include being married for 10 years and you haven't remarried, you can choose your ex-spouse's Social Security, uh, claiming on his or her record. And it doesn't matter if he's remarried. All that matters is that you haven't. And a lot of people ask me, well, I'm older than my ex-spouse, so can I claim at 62 if he's 55? And the answer is no. He has to also be 62, but he doesn't have to be claiming if you've been divorced for 2 years. Okay, so that's an important point to note with the divorce rules. And yes, earnings from a job will reduce your benefit if you're under full retirement age. So good news is once you reach full retirement age, you can make as much as you want, okay? And it will have no impact on your Social Security. Under full retirement age, the only income that impacts your Social Security is earned income. So while we are producing an income from our 401ks and IRAs, that income has no impact on Social Security. It's just earned income that reduces your Social Security. Okay. So I think I want to pretty much wrap up here soon. Again, if you have questions, until I figure out how to take questions live here, feel free to email me, lynnt@herretirement.com, and go check out my website at herretirement.com. I also offer a free 1-hour Her Retirement Roadmap Masterclass on my website. And I would love for you to click the subscribe to my channel and the bell to be notified when I post videos, because I post a lot of shorts that I do, 1 to 3 minute long videos. I post a lot of those, and then I will be going live here every Thursday at 12:15. Why did I choose 12:15? Well, when I worked in corporate America, sometimes I would take my lunch break at 12. By the time I got wherever I wanted to go and get settled to have my lunch, it'd be 12:15. So I figured it would be a good, memorable time, and it would allow you, if you're watching during your lunch break, to get where you want to go and get your lunch out or get out walking or whatever it is you want to do. Okay. Last true false I'll cover here is Social Security is going bankrupt and there won't be any benefits left when I retire. Well, I hear this a lot too. It gets into like a whole political thing, and oh my goodness, people get crazy about Social Security going bankrupt and how the government stole money from the Social Security fund. And yeah, none of that's true. The government has borrowed money, but Social Security has benefited from that borrowing, just like any company or institution that lends money benefits from loaning money. But anyway, it's false. Right now, it's false, and I don't think it's ever going to change. By 2034, 79% of a person's annual benefits will be funded if nothing changes to the Social Security fund in the way things are set up right now. Many things are being looked at and could happen. Raising the full retirement age, changing contribution levels. Right now, if you earn over $168,000, some odd amount, above any income above that is not taxed from a Social Security perspective. Well, just changing that one thing could make the Social Security fund solvent for a very long time. So perhaps, you know, making the people who earn a little bit more pay more, or pay a higher amount based on their income could change Social Security. The issue comes down to demographics. In 1945, the ratio of workers to Social Security beneficiaries was 41.9 to 1. Okay. 2013, that had dropped to 2.8 to 1. And in 2035, the projected ratio will be 2.1 to 1. So that is the cause, right? A very large part of our population is going to be over 65. It's called peak 65. 10,000 people are retiring every single day. Like 11,000 people are turning 65 every day. So our population is getting older, and it's one of the issues. It's one of the issues that we have to deal with. So potentially, when you're doing that retirement income projection, if you wanted to be conservative, you could say, okay, I'm only going to plan on 80% of my Social Security benefit, and then look at how you're going to fill in your gaps. One of the very cool things that I have as part of my platform is I have a software platform that allows you to take a complete inventory of everything you have financially. The software summarizes that's a hard one to say. Summarizes it all in one scrolling screen. You can also download a printed financial summary. It also produces a financial snapshot, which is a one-page version of that complete inventory. But this might be perhaps the first time people have taken a complete inventory of everything they have. And the software will project based on what you input of your guaranteed income sources, your retirement savings, your expenses that you're projecting, and it's going to project if you're going to have a gap. And then it will go further to project how you will fill that gap. And if after you try to fill that gap with other sources, you still have some issues, then, you need to address them right away. But it also educates you on all these different topics. There is a learning module. There's also a module where you can learn all about the strategies that can help you fill the gaps. Strategies beyond working as a Walmart greeter or in the garden center. Maybe you want to work. Lots of people want to work in retirement. So is it really technically retirement? Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, once they leave their full-time corporate job, a lot of people want to continue to work. So anyway, back to the platform. You can learn about these strategies that have nothing to do with working, but that allow you to be more efficient with what you have, like tax planning, like doing things before you retire to make your portfolio positioned better, to perform better, to figure out your Social Security strategy, to maybe use the equity in your home. There's a number of different strategies. So in the platform, you get educated about what these strategies are, and it tries to match your concerns for retirement with some strategies. There's also a planning module where you can learn all about retirement planning, what it is, how to plan for retirement. There's an implementation module that provides a guide on how to find an advisor and an advisor suitability quiz, as well as a matching service. So if you say, I need help, we can help match you up with some resources, whether, they're non-financial resources that you need. There's also, speaking of non-financial, there is a envision module in the software where you go through a number of exercises to help you envision the non-financial parts of life. And I will do a live all about the non-financial parts of retirement because so many people are like, okay, I've got my financial foundation in place, but what the hell am I going to do with all this time? Some people don't have that problem. They know exactly what they're going to do, but so many people that I meet are like, "Oh, what's gonna be my purpose? Like, once I'm no longer, the director of my department with all these work friends and, how will I, have my self-worth, my identity? Like, how will I spend my time? What do I wanna do? Like, I have all this time now. Who do I wanna be?" So, envisioning your retirement might even be the very first thing you should do. Think about the non-financial aspects. Where you live is another huge issue, because housing costs is your number one expense in retirement, and so many people are like, "Woohoo, I can head south, or I can head to Europe, or I can, head to my kids' in-law apartment," or wherever it is you're heading. It's so important to know where you're going to call home in retirement because all of that impacts your income at the end of the day and obviously your happiness. So, I hope you've enjoyed this little overview on Social Security and the true false questions, maybe dispelled some myths. And it's so important that you really get personal advice. One of my pet peeves is I see people giving generic advice, and people will ask me a question: should I take it at 62, or should I transition my 401k into a private traditional IRA? And I always say it depends for two reasons. One is I don't know anything about that person. I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about your personal situation. I don't have any visibility into your numbers. I don't have any visibility into what you want for retirement. What are those goals and things you're trying to enjoy that money will help you enjoy? Number 2, I personally am not a financial advisor. So even if I had all those facts, I would not give you financial advice. I'm not going to tell you where to invest your 401k, but I am going to educate you and get you ready, help you identify everything that you have, help you identify those gaps, risks, and opportunities through my software, through coaching, through education, more importantly. I offer a ton of free and paid education because I do believe when you know more, you have more and you can live more. And then I can hook you up with vetted network of experts. And in addition, I co-own a financial advisory practice, and it's called Your Retirement Advisor. And there's a great team there that if you have certain criteria and certain things you want to do, perhaps they could be a solution for you. But you know, that's optional. It kind of depends on your needs and your situation. So you won't get advice from me. You will get education, you will get guidance, and if you want some personal financial coaching because you feel behind on retirement, you're just not even sure where to start because what even is retirement planning? People think I have a 401k and I've got Social Security. I'm done. Call it a day. Nope. 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 In my masterclass, you'll learn all about what financial planning for retirement is and is not. So, with that, thank you for watching this week's live episode of the Her Retirement take on Social Security. And definitely check out all my resources and plan to tune in or watch the recording of each weekly live event that happens on Thursdays at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time. So, as I always like to say, when you know more, you can have more and live more. And here's to getting her done. Thanks for watching.